What's up, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Smart Talk. We're talking about real struggles, real stories, and entrepreneurs with getting the ground up. Today, I got my homegirl Paris in the building.
Hello.
Hey, how are
Thank you.
you?
Thank you for having
Of
me.
course, I appreciate you coming on here. You're a big time model slash actress, so I want everyone to kind of get to know your story and your come up. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Paris Mays. I'm 22 years old, living in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I would say all throughout high school, I was a big nerd of the Hunger Games franchise, or also in middle school, just huge nerd. And
Yeah, that franchise was huge.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember in middle school they made us they gave us a signed book to read one of those books.
yeah, I was a huge nerd, and that kind of made me want to learn more about like the movie side. I guess that was like kind of like my introduction to it. I guess I've always been like a bit like artsy. Um, Ever since I was like a kid, I've loved dance, playing bass guitar and stuff, and I was super interested in film. I did have take a film class when I was like in high school and stuff. I didn't I wanted to be an actress, but I didn't think it was actually like ever possible because we didn't live in LA until I would say when I was in high school, I had a photographer reach out to me wanting to do a photo shoot. I think I was like 17. I was a junior in high school. He reached out to me, and I told him I was interested. It seemed fun, and I never heard anything back. So then a few months later, he asked me again if he wanted to do another photo shoot. I said I was interested. Didn't hear anything back again. And then I think a year went by, and I was at prom. It was prom, and I was there eating with my friends before prom, and I got the same message from the photographer wanted to do a photo shoot with me. And I was like, nope, I am not going to respond back this time because the other two times he kind of ghosted me. So days went by, and I was in the car with my mom, and she was driving me. I don't know where we were going, but I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. This photographer wanted to do a photo shoot with me, and I'm not going to do it." And then she's like, "Wait, what? Let me see it." So I showed her his page and everything, and she's like, "No, do it. Respond back." I was like, "But he kind of ghosted me the last two times." And she's like, "Just do it. I'll go with you." So then I finally texted him and I said that I would be willing to do the photo shoot. And this time he actually went through with it. And we did the photo shoot, and it kind of like snowballed from there. I just met more photographers, and those photographers knew other photographers, and then they knew a talent agent, and they recommended me to her, and that's how I ended up getting signed as an actress to the agency I'm now signed with. So I guess it was my mom that really did push me to say something, because
Mm-hmm.
I not hearing back like two times, I was like, no, he's gonna ghost me again. He's gonna ghost me again. But it's been a really awesome, journey. I think with the first edition my agent sent me, it was the Really Loud House. No, I think it was the second. Yeah, it was the second, because she sent me a movie edition. And I didn't book it, but my second edition was with Loud House, and I ended up booking it. And then that's when I got my first co-star. And I would say for a few years, I focused very heavily on modeling and building that portfolio. So, like going to New York, building a portfolio out there, and in New Mexico, just to have like a diverse portfolio. I think what is very hard and difficult about modeling is I'm very short. I'm 4'11", so finding modeling jobs became very difficult. Um, so for a after a while, I decided to focus a little bit more on acting than modeling, just because of how hard it is to find jobs at my height. Um, and then that's when I kind of switched into acting, and doing more indie movies and etc. And yeah, it's been a blast. I've done like 3 movies these past year. I can't really talk much about it, but I'm super excited for them to come out.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, why do you feel like a lot of brands or companies don't like shorter models?
From what I heard is for runways, a lot of designers like it being all one height, so it looks cleaner. But for commercial modeling, I'm not really quite sure. I do hope one day they can change that, but because there is a height criteria for commercial modeling. Because I tried to get signed in Los Angeles for modeling, but a lot of the commercial modeling agencies had certain height requirements. And yeah, I don't know why for commercial, but I do hope they do change that just so more like heights could be able to do print modeling.
Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of parents, whenever their kids have ambitions or goals or dreams, that they're not really supportive of their kids, what their kids want to do.
Uh-huh.
Is that the case for you with you and your modeling slash acting career?
Uh, yeah, to be honest, yeah. I think if you genuinely want to do it, even though there may not be a lot of support at home, you still have to like do it. I know that's like very like straightforward to say. I don't really think my family is as supportive, but I'm hoping that one day I can be able to prove to them, and hopefully they can have like support me a lot more. And I think with situations like that, you just have to push forward. You really do. And I know it's a lot harder when you don't have support, but I would say my family was more supportive when I did modeling, but towards acting, it hasn't been. But none of my movies have came out yet, so I'm hoping that can change.
You feel like the opinion of what they feel about you modeling acting hasn't changed yet?
Um, I think it's changed a lot. I think when I first started out, they were very supportive, and I feel like now it's kind of like went down a little bit, and I think a lot of that is just because they haven't seen any of my films yet. But yeah, I am hoping as I continue to work harder, it will change.
What's something that you struggled on early in your career that people didn't see now?
I think setting a brand, I guess, for myself was kind of, I didn't really know what I was doing. Let's just say that. I didn't know what I was doing. I was so new to everything, and no one in my family has done any of this. Like, no one has done any modeling or acting, so everything was very fresh. I was very much learning everything from a very raw perspective. I didn't really know how agents work like a few years ago, like when I was 18. I'm 22 now. When I first started off, I didn't know what TFPs were, trade for prints, which are like photo shoots you do to build your portfolio. I didn't know what co-stars were. And I think that is something I struggled with a lot, and I think that's just something you just have to learn as you continue going on with modeling and acting.
Mm-hmm. How is it? I know because you do modeling and acting. I've had a couple girls that's been on the same podcast, and they talk about how weird photographers can be and like the dangers
Hmm.
you can kind of put yourself into. That you want to talk a little bit more about that and like what to watch for?
Yeah, I think definitely research the photographer before. Looking through his work. I would also say, contacting any models that he's worked with and just ask about their experiences with them. If it's good, always bringing someone along. I think for all the photo shoots I've had, I've always brought my mom, dad, or sister with me because you never know. Doing your research, having people come with you, and also having a contract to make sure what photos are released and which ones aren't.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of them say that you need to have a contract in place. I'm like, damn, it's
Yeah.
serious, huh?
Yeah.
Have you ever had a scare with a photographer?
I have, yes. A very, very long story. Years ago, I was very naive, 18-year-old girl. Decided to go to this photo shoot. He said there was gonna be like a makeup artist there and stuff. Showed up to the photo shoot. He said he was gonna be 30 minutes late. I still stayed. It was in October. When he got there, it was already super dark. He told me there was going to be a backdrop that we were going to use, but we ended up just walking into the forest area, which was kind of weird. And then he set up a backdrop in the forest, which didn't make sense. My mom kind of freaked out, so my mom drove to the location. And I guess when she went there was two guys side by side by my car in trucks. And when she pulled up, she went into her truck and they like drove off right away. And after that experience, that guy, I never heard from him again. I don't know where he went, but it sounded like an abduction. I don't know. I told my agent about that, and she always tells that story to models all the time so they could be safe. But yeah, that's an experience I had. I don't know if it was an abduction or not, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's scary, like, for especially females in this industry.
Yeah.
You really gotta watch yourself, and there's a bunch of creeps out there now.
Yeah, you definitely gotta be careful.
Yeah, so it's good that, you guys are
Mhm.
one big community and you guys try to help each other out, especially the
Oh yeah,
female side.
absolutely.
So, what's one, I know you have a big passion for modeling and acting, but what's some of the things that you don't like about that industry, or you don't like about modeling and acting?
I don't know. I've never really thought of that.
There's always cons to anything you do.
Um, I guess one thing I don't like about modeling, well, TFPs, like when you have to build your portfolio, is trying to like find clothes for photo shoots, right? Because I'm like such a perfectionist, and I feel like I've worn all the clothes in my closet that I have to like go shopping, and I get like, the perfectionist mind. I guess that's one thing I have with modeling. Film, I'm obsessed with film. I love film so much. You want to talk about film, I'll talk about that the entire time. So yeah.
What's your favorite film you've been a part of?
My favorite film is my indie feature that I just shot last summer, No Place. It's kind of hard to talk about it right now because it still hasn't come out yet, but the director on it was absolutely amazing. She's been working on the script for like probably over 15 years. She finally got the funding to make it. The whole cast and crew is from New Mexico, which is absolutely amazing. My co-star, who was co-leading it with me, Phoenix Solzito, was absolutely amazing in it. And I would say that was like the best film set I ever been on. We shot for like 3 weeks. All over New Mexico, and I'm so excited for it to come out. So excited! It has that Quentin Tarantino feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I would describe it.
Yeah. As far as your modeling career and acting goes, do you want to stay here for the time being, or do you plan on blowing yourself up to a certain level and moving to one of these bigger cities like Phoenix, LA, New York?
I always want to stay in New Mexico. I guess I haven't really thought of that too much. I'm hoping one day, New Mexico could, be even more popular in film. But it would be cool to be able to work in LA and New Mexico at the same time. So I'm located in both, working in both constantly.
Yeah, both two different
Yeah.
markets.
And I also love California. I love the beach, and Santa Monica. So I'm always fine working there too.
How did you get in touch with the agency you're working with now? How'd you get signed with them?
So when I graduated from high school and I started working with the photographers, they had connections to my agency, so they recommended me to her. And which was so funny is my agent went to the bank, and that's where she met my mom. So it's like out of coincidence. And I guess my agent already knew about me. It was just a weird coincidence. And I guess, my mom gave her my number, and she already heard about me from these photographers. So I got a call from Deidre. She said she was interested, my agent, she said she was interested in signing me for modeling specifically, when I told her that I had a big obsession with film. So a few months later, I trained for a little bit for acting because I didn't have any acting training, so I trained for a few months, and then that's when she signed me for acting.
Yeah, because I know, because I have a lot of friends that are actors slash models. I feel like agencies here, they don't really take modeling seriously, or you don't really get paid out here. Is that true?
There's not a lot of modeling work, and I think that's what a big problem is. I hoping that maybe there could be more, designers coming in, so models could get more work. I think a really good modeling job that I did have in the past was Thunderbird. Thunderbird.
The Native American Druid?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They paid really, really good, and they're super sweet, and they're amazing. I would say, besides that, there's just not a lot of work out here.
Why is that? Because there's a whole Netflix studio here. I feel like I'll always hear is
Yeah.
like all these big companies and corporations are doing a bunch of movies and stuff over here. So I feel like there'd be more demand than what is more portrayed. Don't you think?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I have no clue. I do know with film, with Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul coming in, that's helped it boom a lot. But with modeling, I think it's just because, our population is very smaller compared to like,
Bigger cities.
yeah, modeling capitals like, New York, Milan, and LA, etc.
Mhm. Was there ever a time in your life where you feel like you wanted to quit film? You feel like this wasn't for you? You know, you
Um,
giving yourself self doubts.
no, I haven't. I every single day of my life, I think of film. I'm so obsessed. I can't think of a life without it at all. I don't plan on giving up anytime soon. I want to keep going. I want to keep networking and just seeing how far I can go and just see where this career takes me. Because every year I feel like it's been like a ladder of like something new coming up every year, and I just want to see and be patient with it. So I think that's also why I love the movie Marty Supreme so much, is because he's just so obsessed with like success and like the dream and stuff, and I feel like a lot of that is just me just being so obsessed with just film, and it's just so much fun too. I love it. I love creating stories, creating characters, meeting so much amazing people in film, and working with creative minds. I've always been a creative person ever since I was a kid. I used to be a nerd, in elementary school. I was very obsessed with Korean music and dancing to Korean music, K-pop. And I feel like I've always just been like, you know, just very much into that stuff, like dancing. I've danced all 4 years of my high school dance team, playing a bit bass and just being super obsessed with movies. I remember when I graduated from high school, my dad sat me down and he's like, okay, what are you going to be majoring in college? And I said, well, I like movies. And they're like, no, you got to be serious, realistic. And I'm like, I don't know what else to do. So, I did major in business. Well, I didn't major because I never finished. I was going to school for business at UNM. I never finished, and I ended up leaving to go do film at CNM, and I don't regret it at all. I feel super happy, and I am super excited for what the future may hold.
Do you feel like looks matter than talent in your industry?
Um, looks matter. When it comes to beauty, not really exactly. When I think when looks, meaning like, when it comes to looks in film, I think it's more about if you look like you would play that character. Like, oh, will this person look like they would play a UFC fighter? Do they have that look? Do they look like they could play a store clerk, etc.? I think like that, having a certain look for a character kind of works for film, is what I would say.
Do you feel like your industry is super competitive when you guys, like other women, or you guys are trying to fight for the same role or same modeling gig? Do you feel like that gets competitive?
I would say it's competitive everywhere, but I would say specifically in Los Angeles, I would definitely think it's more competitive, just specifically because there's so much people out there. I think in New Mexico, I think competition isn't as intense, just because there's less people here. Yeah, I think there's like thousands of people going for roles in Los Angeles because the market is huge out there.
So you always have to put on a certain look, right? Do you feel like you have pressure just to kind of keep your upkeep in your image?
Yes, I would say with like my skin, I would specifically say that's the only thing, because the thing about film, from what I've heard, is if you have like acne, it could kind of mess up continuity when filming. So I think taking super good care of your skin is very important for film.
No, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. I don't know where I heard it from. I think it was some workshop I went to, but yeah, when it comes to acne, because some people were like, oh, having acne, like, wouldn't that like be unique? Which it is, but it could mess up continuity because they don't film movies in order. It's like always out of order.
Oh, they always film. Oh,
Yeah.
so if they see an episode with you in acne, with you don't, then.
Just with like movies and stuff, scenes are not filmed in order.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's also a very tricky part too. Very tricky.
How do you handle hate and criticism if you get in person or online? Does that affect you?
I try not to let it affect me. A lot of times you just gotta ignore it. I feel like no matter what, you're gonna get hate. Every person in Hollywood, I feel like, gets hate, and that's just something to expect. You just have to just keep ignoring it and just keep going. I mean, a lot of amazing actors, like Oscar-winning actors, get hate, and it's just something you just gotta ignore and just keep moving forward.
In the movies you're in, right? What if you had to like pick a role, or kind of categorize yourself to be in a certain type of movie, what would that movie be?
I think for me, I play a traumatized teen a lot, a teen that goes through a lot of trauma. I think I play that role a lot, and I would say that's.
Do you feel like you have that look for that? Is that why?
I think it's because I look super young, but I'm an adult, so I'm able to play those types of roles. So I think that's why I play a lot of those characters.
And you enjoy playing that type of role?
I do. I love drama. I've always loved drama. I also very much love action, but I'm not the best at stunts yet. Trying.
Yeah, I love action movies.
You like action?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like action drama. I love Mad Max. I'm a big Mad Max fan. I love Furiosa. I love Katniss Everdeen. I like that area. I love dystopian. That is like my dream genre, is like dystopian.
Oh, cool. Who's your dream actor or actress that you would love to work with?
Mia Goth and Anya Taylor-Joy. Those two actresses are my favorite of all time, or Jennifer Lawrence, because I she is the actress that got me to want to pursue acting. I love Mia Goth because she's so unique, and I love her in Pearl, ex Maxine. She's gorgeous. She is just an amazing actress, and I love Anya Taylor-Joy, who is also very gorgeous. I love her in Split. Those two actresses are my dream actresses to work with.
What's the difference between a good actress, and a great actress?
I haven't really ever thought of that. I guess, just studying the character, I guess. Being in the mind of the character, psychological point of the character, studying that, understanding your environment, the characters around you, is what makes someone an amazing actor.
And that's what you inspired me. Do you want to be like a big star one day? Is that your main goal?
I want I want to be a working actress for sure. I want to make a livelihood being in films, even making my own films, directing my own films. I think my goal in life is to be able to make this, like an everyday thing for me.
Mhm. So I've heard that a lot of like directors and people that create these films, they mistreat a lot of their actors, actresses, and like their extras. Is that true?
I have not experienced any of that yet. No,
No.
no. All the directors I've worked with have been super amazing, and they've been super great to work with and very creative.
Mhm. I've also sat down with a couple actors and actresses that
Mhm.
it's not the best lucrative income if you're not getting like a big role.
Uh-huh.
Is this what you do full time? Do you have like something that on the side to kind of
Yeah.
supplement you to keep going?
It is kind of hard because sometimes you'll go through a period where you're just booking a lot. I think last summer, I spent the entire time just working and working for months and months. And then you'll go through a low where it's just like you're barely getting anything and you're barely booking. So I guess it's very unpredictable. So having a side job is very important, especially since sometimes it could get a little expensive, like with getting headshots and acting classes. So I would just say the career path it's unpredictable. But if you keep going, you could you could continue slowly going to the top and getting more and more stuff, especially with like networking and stuff and meeting new people. Yeah, it's pretty unpredictable, especially since production, like not production, film usually stops around the holiday season because people are like,
Taking off.
yeah, they're taking off, so it's very empty from like sometimes like November to January-ish, or even longer than that. And usually a lot of the films start to happen in May. That's where a lot of the casting happens.
Because they're getting ready for the upcoming movie.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
casting.
it's like movie season, huh?
Yeah, it's movie season, and it's summertime, so the weather is better. There's no holidays, so.
Yeah. How does I know because you're in the spotlight all the time. How does that affect you in a more romantic relationship? Does that kind of affect you in a certain way? Because I know there's guys that don't want their spouses or their girlfriends always getting the spotlight and attention, and then their social
Uh-huh.
medias are blowing up. Has that affect you in any type of way?
No, not at all. With the relationships I've been in, I think like in the past, like my the people I've dated in the past have been supportive, very supportive of me, and they actually push me to keep uh, doing more and bigger stuff. And that's usually how my relationships go, is that they're more supportive. Usually if I do come across a guy who's not supportive, which I haven't dealt with that yet, then I will not pursue a relationship because I don't ever plan on leaving film at all, and I believe it's my number one lover is film.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I,
I would say I've had partners that have been really, supportive.
yeah, I definitely can feel that you have a drive and a passion for it, and like this is your calling.
Yeah, I would say yeah, I do have yeah obsession.
Is it crazy looking back? Because I know you told me you were kind of more shyer in your earlier ages that you're to this point in your life.
Yeah, I feel like I was very like naive back then. I just didn't know a lot. I didn't understand like branding. I didn't understand just how things really worked. And I feel like now I have a better sense and understanding of the industry and branding a whole lot more. I do feel like I am still a little shy, but not as much as I used to be in the past.
Mhm. It's more like now what you know is who you know, right? In this industry.
I would say so. Well, yeah, networking does help a lot. Really does. And like going to as much networking events as possible. Even working on free projects. I know a lot of people don't like working on free projects, but they help you meet new people. They
Mhm.
really do. And that's where I did this offset web series. It was not paid, but the cinematographer on there, Phoenix Solzito, ended up helping me. Ended up helping me with film a lot, and he ended up helping me get onto my first feature film, No Place.
Mhm. Is the best way to get into acting slash modeling? Is it kind of just to take the free roles or the free gigs just so you can post more content and meet new people? You feel like that's a good stepping
Yeah, I
stone?
would say so. Or also like doing like student films is also another thing. Just it's all about like, just meeting people and also just making your own films too is another big thing as well.
Do you feel like that's easy or no? Making your own film? You're talking about short films, right?
Yeah, it is a little difficult, but if you have a like good crew, people who are also passionate about it, it helps a lot. It
Mhm.
really does. Um, I mean, I made my first film off my iPhone, and then I just used the audio, just grab another phone, just put it on the side for audio.
Mhm.
It works. Like using an iPhone, it works. I feel like art is art. No matter what you use, it's art.
Yeah. I feel like now iPhones, their camera quality is insane now. So
Yeah,
even
you can make films. You can make films from it. Use CapCut. It
yeah,
works.
yeah. What's your dream brand you've always wanted to work with?
Like modeling,
Mhm.
Dior. I've always wanted to work with Dior. I love their makeup. Anya Taylor-Joy works with them, which she's one of my favorite actresses. They've always just been my dream company to work with. I mean, yeah.
Is there another brand would you like love to work with too as well?
With brands. So
Like a clothing brand?
clothing brand. I haven't really thought about that too much. Yeah, I really haven't thought about that too much. Clothing brand.
Nothing really sticks out to you?
Not not too much. Not too much. But who knows? Maybe in the future I'll I'll work with the top brand.
What if you had to pick one career field, modeling or being an actress, which one would you pick? If you had to pick one or the other and you had to stick to it.
If I would stick to, I really, really love film a lot. I would say that acting is probably very aligned with me more. Modeling is still very fun. I feel like you could still do both.
Mhm.
I see a lot of actors do modeling a
Yeah,
lot.
it could kind of, I feel like it correlates with each
Yeah,
other.
yeah, they do. They correlate with each other, which is really great. Film is just amazing. I love going. I love the feeling of going to like a movie theater, like sitting down and watching just a great, amazing movie.
Yeah, I've been in a couple short films and I've had to like memorize a couple lines.
Mhm.
Man, they were kind of hard,
It is.
you
Yeah.
know, because when they're like ready, set, go, and action, and then you got to remember your lines, and then wait for the other person to say their line, and then remember
Yeah.
your next line. So I definitely got nervous, and I'm not the type of person to get nervous.
Yeah. After doing it for a while, it does get easier. Cause that was one thing I did struggle with when I first started acting was line memorization. But if you keep like going to acting class and like learning a new script every single day, it will be so much easier. when I was first given my first, feature, and I was given the script, I went to my acting coach and I was like, what, like 90 pages or more? I don't remember. But I remember I was like, how am I gonna learn all of these lines? And he told me a tip was to read the entire script every single day. So I think I had like 2 to 3 months to prepare. So that's all I did was read the entire script every single day. And it worked. It worked. The day of set when I showed up, I didn't even have to like look through it. I knew it right off the top of my head. I knew the other actors' lines too.
Wow.
So it's just going over. But then also sometimes you'll have those times where you'll get booked to do a movie a day before. Like you'll be given the script. Sorry, you'll be given the script the day before shooting a movie. And I think when it comes to stuff like that, that's what makes it super important to be in class, constantly, studying scripts and lines. So it'd be easy to learn the script right off the bat.
Mhm. So you feel like acting class is definitely worth it?
Yeah, definitely, because I've dealt with given the script, the entire script the day before, and it's scary, but if you've been practicing, you can make it work.
What's the point of directors giving the script the day before to their actresses and models?
Just rushing, getting casting done. Usually, some films they have a very short, they film super quickly, and then they have a quick turnaround time. So everything is very squeezed in tight. So that's what kind of makes it like last minute.
Do you feel like you prefer that better than it just prolonging and they're just taking their time?
Um, I mean, it would be nice to have more time, but I am fine with anything, I guess, because I also like it being, how do I say the word? I kind of like it being a bit, because sometimes when you do get a script before, I feel like you're more raw in the character, I guess. That's what a lot of actors like to do. They like to actually learn their lines either the night before, or Tom Holland used to learn his lines literally in the morning before shooting, and I feel like it makes the character feel more raw. So I guess it works both ways.
Well, why do you feel like it makes them more raw?
Because when you have a script for a very long time, it can sometimes make you feel a little rehearsed. I don't really feel like that sometimes, but with some actors, they've said how constantly studying the same lines can make them feel rehearsed. For me, I feel like it helps me get more into the mind of the character. It helps me get more into the mind of the character to understand the psychological aspects that they're going through, but with other actors, they like it to be more raw.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
You have a lot of stuff going for yourself, you know.
Yeah, so a lot of people it's very different for everyone when it comes to acting, because some people are like, nope, I'm studying it the morning before set. Some people just need more time with it. It just depends.
How do directors react if the model or the actress can't remember their line at all, and they just keep going back and forth? Has that happened to you, where you just can't get a line down?
I like to always come on set with my lines memorized, because I've always had a fear. I've had nightmares of this, of being on set and not remembering my lines. And because I have such a huge fear of it, I will triple make sure that they are memorized. But usually, if actors do not memorize lines, they will just call out line, and then the director or script supervisor will give out the line to them, and then they'll read it.
Oh, okay.
So that's what usually happens.
Yeah, that's cool. I know we talk about a lot on this podcast. What's something you definitely want someone to take away when they're listening to this podcast about you?
I'm trying to be more real, I guess. That I guess some things that I would want people to take away from this. I guess just how amazing art is. Art is it's amazing. It's beautiful. Um, no matter what it is, it's art. I would say is that I love art.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you coming on
Yeah.
here. Tell me a little about your modeling career slash acting career. So definitely, I don't know you personally, but I definitely wish you the best. You know, I'm definitely rooting for you. I want to see you in these big films. That I'm gonna
Thank you.
take a girl on a movie date. I'm like, oh, I did a podcast with that chick.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
yeah, I really definitely wish you the best of luck in
Yeah.
life.
And thank you so much for having me. I do appreciate
Of
it.
course, thank you. And thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Smart Talk. And I'll see you guys next time on the next episode.